introduce yourself.
My name's Capt. Perez.
Say that you're like the captain.
Okay, I'm the captain of the cheer team and I'm a junior.
How long have you been cheerleading?
I've been cheerleading for approximately 7 years now, including my middle school and elementary days.
How did you start?
I began in elementary with dance and drill team. And from there, when I got to middle school, I found out they had after school cheer and drill team. So what caught my attention was cheer, and I ended up doing drill team. And I liked it, so I stayed, but my dream was had always been I wanted to be a cheerleader and actually throw people and stuff. That was my main focus. So when I got to high school, I tried out for the cheer team as a freshman, and I made it.
Do you guys warm up before you guys do stuff?
Yes, usually we'll stretch and do jumping jacks, and then we run.
Okay. What were your previous injuries?
My previous injuries. Okay, I just recently this past semester I sprained my rotator cuff doing a walkover, and that's a flip kind of. So I was doing it, and my arm, I guess, it twisted, and I fell wrong, and I sprained my rotator cuff, and I had to wear a brace for about half a month, and I wasn't able to move it or write with it.
That's the only injury you had?
Yeah.
Do you ever get scared of getting another injury?
Yes, actually, most of there's been girls who have gotten their nose broken or their tooth has gone through the lip, and that was one of my main concerns when I used to have braces. I would bleed a lot from my lips, or even afterwards, girls hit you wrong or you catch a girl wrong, it's very dangerous because it could not only your face but your body parts.
How do you treat hip injuries?
Usually if they're minor injuries at practice, we'll ice. That's our go-to. And blood, when it comes to blood, well, they clean it up. And then, however, if it's more injured, major injuries such as you sprained something or you broke an arm, well, that's you get time off for season. And you're welcome to come to practice, but you really can't do anything. So you'll just sit down and watch and take your time off so you can come back better instead of forcing an injury that needs to be treated.
Would you recommend cheer?
Honestly, if it's if you like working with people and you're a very outgoing person, I'd definitely recommend it. I think it's a sport for everybody because we have different type of girls and they have different personalities. Not everyone is your typical that super spirited person. We've had quiet people. Most of our girls, they're different and they have different personalities, so I think it'd be a sport for anyone who's willing to be determined and practice.
Can you explain how cheer is a sport? Because people are
okay, yeah, that's a big controversy. But for me, it'd be a sport because we're really involved in physical activity. And just as any other sport, we warm up, we practice 2 to 3 hours a week, 2 to 3 hours per day. And we do a lot of physical activity. Picking up the girls is definitely one of the biggest ones. So there's usually a saying we throw people, you throw balls. So in my argument, cheer is a sport, and because most people think cheerleading is just yelling out chants or stuff, but it's much more than that.
What's the last one?
Activities, stunts, and routines. What do you guys do?
Okay, what do you guys do a daily practice and then your routines and all that stuff?
On practice, when our season barely begins, we focus a lot on teaching the cheers so that we are ready for football season, which is our first fall sport. And then from there, we start working on our routine. Usually, we have 2 routines, a trial routine, which we'll use for the first half of football season as a halftime show. And then we alter it and change our music for our classic halftime. And then from there, after football season, we have basketball season, which we focus more on 30-second and 1-minute routines. And after basketball season, we're focused on competition season, which is the throwing of girls, and it's more focused on the actual stunting instead of cheering and dancing. So it derives from actually cheering on the sideline to competitive cheerleading.
Okay, thank you.